All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another unboxing. Today on deck is the UMAREX Origin in 25 cal. Guys, this gun has had a lot of high praise since it's come out. It's almost maybe 2 years now this thing's been out, and I've heard nothing but rave reviews about this thing. So I can't wait to get it together here and take it out and get a few shots off. But today, let's just get it unboxed. We also have the Air Avenger, which I'm going to do later today, which will air later this week, maybe 2 or 3 days after this one goes up. Coincidentally, these two PCPs are made in the same factory, the same manufacturing plant in China. So that's why you get similar results in terms of accuracy and all that from this UMAREX Origin as the the best in class. Air Avenger has been a legend for a little while now. You can expect the same kind of quality out of this gun here as you do from the Air Avenger. So guys, let's dive in here and get this thing unboxed so we can put it together, and tomorrow I'll get it out and take a few shots with it. All right, so opening up the box here. So it's a good looking box. We'll start with that. Very colorful, it gets me excited. It says easy to fill with a hand pump. It's got the ever pressure tank system, which compresses the air, guys, in the tank to keep it consistent. This is an unregulated gun, but it shoots like a regulated gun. The shots are very consistent across the board. You get about 16 to 20 really good shots, as we'll talk about in a little bit when we get to the hammer spring and all that. But very consistent for an unregulated gun. Amazing consistency. And they've really done a good job with this EPT system. It actually does work quite well, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. I'm not sure what this moderator silencing system is. It must just be the shroud, because I know there's no moderator on here like the Notos. Yeah, so it must just be the shroud, guys. It says right here, fill in just 4 minutes. So we'll see how all that goes. I'm going to pump this one time by hand, just to see what it's like, and then we'll use the compressor, which is another unboxing I have to do probably tomorrow. I got the Orc Air Thunder 4500 PSI air compressor. That thing supposedly can fill tanks, guys, like even the 6.8 tanks. If you have the one-way valve, you just got to give it a break every 30 minutes. So we got all those unboxings to look forward to. Let's focus on the Origin today. I'm not going to go ahead and go through every little piece of information that comes with the gun. I'm sure you've seen that before in some other unboxings. Let's look at the accessories here, guys. It looks like to have 2 magazines, 2 8-round magazines, guys. From what I understand, this is the same as the Gauntlet 25. So if you previously had a Gauntlet, you already have magazines as well, so you could have many mags. But yeah, supposedly it's the same exact magazine. I hope these are a little bit better than my Notos, which on the very first day I had a cracked magnet. I went to put it in the PCP, and it just crumbled and fell right off. So hopefully I'll have better luck with these here. I am going to go ahead and order the Carm. I know the Carm makes the magazines for the Gauntlet, so I'm going to go ahead and order those and get those on the way, because those are great mags. I'd prefer to use those anyway over these cheap ones. But yeah, so you got two mags here, not too bad. Put those over here. Looks like you have a bunch of O-rings and your fill probes in there. So yeah, guys, you got a couple O-rings in here. And if I can get this open for you, we'll see what else. I see the fill probe in there. Yep, couple O-rings. A little Allen wrench, probably for the hammer spring, I would imagine. And then here you got your fill probe. Let's take a look at that fill probe. I think, if I remember correctly, we'll do that in a minute. It's too tough. All right, let's get this guy out and take a look at it. Hey guys, there you go. It's the Origin 25 cal. I'm going to spin it around for you here. This is where all the magic happens on this side. So I'll say this, guys, it's a light gun. It comes in at about 6.5 pounds. I think 6.8 to be exact. But yeah, this thing's very light, which is great when you're out there walking around the woods, maybe hunting a little bit, or just in general for shooting off shoulder or offhand. That's a big plus, because some of these guns that get up to like 7 or 8 pounds, you don't want to walk around with those all day, and they don't shoulder quite as well most of the time unless they're very well balanced. So yeah, it's a big plus, guys. It's actually in person a pretty good looking gun too. Like I expected it to be kind of cheap, because like I said, it is made in the same factory as the Avenger, which the stock chassis in that is just a nightmare from what I understand. This isn't bad. Doesn't feel too bad. Feels pretty solid. It's got a nice rubber, I guess, buttstock. I don't know what you call the end of it there. But yeah, it's not too bad. It doesn't feel cheap is the point I'm trying to make. For a budget gun, most of those usually feel cheap. This one does not. So pleasantly surprised there, guys. You can see we have a side lever as opposed to a bolt, which I prefer so much more. So glad to see that, especially on a budget gun. We have our gauge here for PSI. Is it PSI or bar? It's in PSI. So it does go to 3,600 PSI, guys, or 3,625 to be exact, which is 250 bar, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to give you a little tip right now while we're on the PSI gauge. Straight from UMAREX themselves, unregulated guns have a sweet spot. They don't just stay consistent. So from what the guys at UMAREX said, fill it to 3,100, not 3,625 or 3,600, and you'll get nice consistent shots all the way through the range down to 1,000. You'll probably get like somewhere between 16 and 20 shots, depending on where you have your hammer spring and probably how heavy your ammo is. So yeah, 3,100, guys. We're going to start like that. Now, along those lines, I have noticed a couple guys that tested this on YouTube, filled it up to 3,600. They did have 2 flyers right off the beginning every time they'd want to shoot 2, because they wouldn't be accurate. So that does make sense. That does jive information-wise. So keep that in mind, guys. 3,100 is the sweet spot for top fill on here, according to the guys that would know. And from what I could see, that is definitely the case. Otherwise, you'll get 2 flyers, that might be as much as 3 inches, usually to the top. Okay. So we do have a dual Picatinny rail here, which is great for mounting your scope. It's nice to see that on there, not a dove's tail. Right here, guys, you have this is where you adjust your hammer spring right here. Now, this claims 950 feet per second and 40 foot-pounds of energy. I've seen guys get upper 9s and also get upwards of 70 to 75 foot-pounds, depending on how heavy the slug is. I'm not saying that that's super accurate using those heavy slugs, but I think just for the sake of seeing how many foot-pounds they could get, they were throwing like, I don't know, I guess up to 50 grainers in there and getting like 75 foot-pounds of energy out of this thing. So that's serious power, guys, especially for a budget gun, but just in general for a 25 cal, that's crazy. But I think that if you want to keep it accurate, which you would, especially for target shooting, you're not going to want to crank your hammer spring up all the way to conserve a little air as well. You want a high, moderate hammer spring adjustment, and you want to use ammo that's more applicable, maybe in the somewhere in the 30 to maybe 36 grain tops, somewhere in there. Might be the best way to use it. Like I said, it has the side lever. Let's take a look here on the underside. Oh, it does have a metal trigger. It's a 2-stage trigger, and all metal, which is nice. I mean, it feels like it would be pretty good. Let's turn it upside down here and take a look at the one part of this gun I'm not crazy about is this thing here, this rubber, I don't even know what you call it, rubber protector. So guys, over here you have the degassing screw. Another thing I want to point out right now, a couple guys noticed when they went to pump their gun up the first time, the air just came right out of it. That could be for one of 2 reasons on this gun. Number one, a lot of guys have a loose degassing screw. So just, if you get this gun, whether it be in 22 or this, go ahead and tighten this up and make sure that's tight before you do anything. Because, you know, I guess in a decent amount of cases, that thing is loose. And of course, the air would come right out. Secondly, while we're on the subject, sometimes you have to reset the valve. I had to reset the valve on my no-toes. This is the very same way, right out of the box. So if you go to put air in it, it just comes right out and it's not the degassing screw. Go ahead and cock the gun once. Go ahead and dry fire, pull the trigger once, and then cock it and leave it open, and then go and fill the gun, and it'll fill right up. The exact same thing happened on my no-toes, and worked like a charm. So I was very happy about that. Yeah, then you have your fill probe goes, I guess, right here. On the fill probe, let me bust this out. Let's take a look at that fill probe. I have a few things to mention about that. It does appear to have a water filter already built into it, albeit not a very good one, but you know, something's better than nothing. So it does appear to have, I think that's what that is there. Just it's a moisture filter. Now, I have heard the one thing about these Origins, the fill probe, you got to make sure it's all the way down. It clicks once, supposedly, and you think you have it all the way in, and then there's a second level. I went through both of them. I heard it click twice. But yeah, it goes in once and clicks, but there's still a second level that it has. Yep, there it goes right there. There's still a second level it has to go down. So I don't know why that is. I guess because there's two little rubber seals here it has to go through, 2 gaskets. But yeah, a couple guys mentioned that, and sure enough, that is true. You think you have it in, but you really got to make sure you push it down all the way to make sure that's in there. And that's it, guys. Like I said, this is the one glaring blemish, in my opinion, of the Origin, is this silly rubber cover for these screws. But I mean, you know, it's such a minor thing to complain about. This is a great PCP at a great price. See, I can't even for the life of me get it back in properly. But that's okay, guys. So there you have it, the Origin 25 cal. Good looking, great looking PCP. Like I said, super light. I didn't mention the safety here as well. So it's fire and safe. Very nice, very smooth. So the ergonomics, I think, on this is what I love the most. It's very, I don't know, it shoulders well, it feels great, it's light, everything's right where it needs to be. You know, you're firing, so you're racking it. Everything's right here where it needs to be. So very, very well thought through ergonomically, which is a big plus when you're out there. Whether you be target shooting or hunting, it doesn't matter. So it does have a barrel band here too, guys. I have heard a couple people mention, is this threaded? Yeah, I've heard a couple people mention that you do need a.The adapter to straighten the barrel in some situations. I don't know why it's just some and not all. But one guy was telling me he could not keep this thing on the target, and he was just going to send it back. He thought he just had a dud. They told him to get a.The adapter, and it straightened the barrel out and kept it in place. And then it was like a tack driver. So something as simple as that. Why with all these we have to keep going through like the terrible magazines on the no-toes and you should be able to buy anything with a barrel that's on point. And I'm just nitpicking here, guys. But yeah, if you do run across that issue and you're having problems with accuracy, just go ahead and get the adapter and put it on there, and it should keep the barrel perfectly straight after that. And at that point, it just becomes a tack driver. I'm sure you've seen plenty of people shoot this where it's almost hole in hole. It's definitely like dime size at 20 or 30 yards. So, all right, guys, I'm going to cut it there. I'm super excited about this one. All the reviews are great. Very, like I said, very budget friendly, very powerful. Ticks all the boxes. I mean, especially for a budget gun. And only one thing left to do is get out there and see if it lives up to its name. All right, guys, that's going to do it on this one. Like I said, we got the Avenger coming up. I'm going to film that later today. and about 3 or 4 other unboxings with compressors and so forth. And later this week, I got a little surprise coming, a Human GK1, or GK1, which is the pistol version of the K1. And that thing is unbelievable. So hopefully those arrive on time. I think they're coming from the Czech Republic. I'm not sure. Somewhere over there. Yeah, Czech Republic, I think. Very well crafted, just absolutely amazing piece of work, piece of art almost. So I should have that on this coming Saturday, and we'll get that right out. I'll do the unboxing as soon as I get it, and we'll get that right outside, and you'll see just how amazing that thing is. So stay tuned, get subscribed if you want to see a bunch of good reviews on some of the latest equipment, and we'll see you on the next one.